Hey, there you are. Here we are again. You want to boost performance by making training a want to, not a have to? I've got a couple more ideas for you. Let's do a quick recap with the learn, say, do, reflect model. Of course, there's so many different ways to learn concepts, the different teaching styles, different ways that we can share that information through music, through videos, different tools. Then, of course, the say is the callbacks, the repetition, making sure people have the chance to communicate, talk to each other, talk within their own heads and writing things down. Then, of course, there's the do part. How do we get them to apply what they're learning in the moment? Because we know they're not going to do it later. That's not their priority. So how do we give them the chance via exercises or simulations? And then finally is the reflect. We've got to give people a chance to reflect in that moment because, again, they've got another meeting, another thing, another event. They're going home. They've got a sports game that their kids are going to. They've got something else going on. So let's make sure we give them the time to reflect so that we can make it meaningful for them. I mean, if you take a look at what do people remember? We remember firsts and lasts. So the first time that you ever did something, think your first kiss, right? That we remember the first time we did something. We also remember the most recent time that we did something. We remember things that are absolutely ridiculous. That's why you've seen every Doritos commercial at the Super Bowls. It's always absurd. And we remember that kind of thing. It stands out in our memory. We remember things that are really meaningful to us. So let's help with our people and make sure that they can reflect and connect and find the meaning in what they're learning. And of course, we remember things that are sexual in nature. That's another marketing, advertising thing. But let's make sure that we can give people a first. Let's give them a great experience. Let's give them something that's meaningful. If you have to go a little above and beyond ridiculous, I mean, you remember some of the things that we did during the session. They were a little outrageous compared to some other sessions, right? You look at a lecture. We can't stand the lecture. So let's reverse engineer and create something that the opposite of a boring lecture. So think right now for a moment. Let's do this together. What can't you stand about boring lectures? Okay? The things that come to my mind are we sit there the entire time and we're always listening. Okay, so if we're always listening, how do we switch that so that now we're communicating? How do we make our trainings different so that the participants are communicating 25% of the time, 50% of the time would be even better, where they're either writing down, communicating, right? That's one way of doing it. They're talking to us, they're volunteering, they're working in groups, and we've made it more of a workshop than a lecture, right? What are some other things that bothered me? When I couldn't relate to the information or I didn't know how I was going to use it, well, then that's an easy way to switch things around. Let's make sure that we connect the dots for everybody and give them real examples of, hey, here's A, B, and C. Here's how you can use it to create X, Y, Z. Everybody walks around the world, maybe you've heard this before, listening to a radio station. It's called WIIFM. What's in it for me? When you walked into the session, you said, is this going to be good for me? Am I going to learn something? Is this going to be worth my time? Right? You were basically saying, is this going to be good for me? What's in it for me? So let's connect those dots and answer for them, what's in it for you as you attend this session? There's so many other things that we could do to kind of reverse engineer the sucky lecture, a really boring lecture, the typical lecture. So I would say that, hey, here's your assignment. You want an assignment? You like extra homework? You like kind of reflecting? Here's a really big piece to reflect on. Think of all the worst sessions, training sessions, lectures, classes, courses you've ever been to. Think about all the things you couldn't stand about them, and let's start designing our training to be the opposite of those. And maybe it's as simple as, well, this one has a purpose to it. We're doing something that's important, not just for the sake of filling a void. All right? So there's a couple more conversations we'll have, but for now, let's get started on that one, making sure that we can make training fun again, make it a little bit more relevant, more meaningful, more compelling, so that we can boost performance overall. All right? I'll see you again. Thanks so much.